Hello class. I'm doing a problem today about midpoint. How to use the midpoint formula, what it is, and we're going to go ahead and do an example. Okay, so what we have here on this graph is two cities. Sacramento up here we know is northeast of Los Angeles. Okay, both big cities in California. Which city is bigger, Los Angeles or Sacramento? Definitely Los Angeles, much larger. However, which one is the capital of California? Sacramento wins that competition. It's the capital. So even though it's smaller, it still has something to be proud of. We want to know what the question says, where's the midpoint of the two cities? Or if we look at this line that we drew between them, where would the exact middle point be? Now I could make a guess of that. I could say, I think it's going to be about right there and draw a point. But really, I'm not certain what those coordinates are. I want to know exactly and precisely what the midpoint is. I don't just want to guess, okay? So let's erase that, and let's use the formula because it will give us an exact answer. Now, if I'm looking for a point, what should I expect my answer to look like? If I'm looking for one coordinate point, it should look like this, or like this, okay? It should have an x and a y value. It's not going to be just one number. It's going to be a coordinate pair. So that's why the midpoint formula has a comma in it here and has these parentheses, because it gives us a coordinate pair. And that's exactly what we should expect to find, okay? So that's something to get used to and to not be afraid of. Now, the midpoint formula tells us that if we add the x values of the 2 points we're given and divide them by 2, that's actually like taking the average of the x values, okay, which makes sense. That will give us the x coordinate. And then if we take the average, or if we add up the y values and divide them by 2, then we'll get the average height, which is the y coordinate of our midpoint, okay? So, first of all, we need to know what the x1, x2, y1, and y2 are. And I will help you out with that. These 2 points are where the numbers come from, okay? So this -4 is an x value, so we're going to call that our x1. And then the next x value we have is this 3 here, is the x2, because we know the first value in a coordinate pair is always the x value, and the second value is the y value. So this -2 will be our y1, and this 4, the second y value we have, will be the y2. Now that we know these, we can go ahead and just plug these values in. So let's make a list so they'll be really clear. So our x1 is -4, our x2 is 3, our y1 is -2, and our y2 is that 4 number there. Okay, and let's draw some arrows so we see right where they'll plug in. -4 is going to come here for x1. The 3 is going to come over here for x2. -2 will come in for y1, and then the 4 will come right here into the y2. Okay. Now we're almost there. We just need to plug these values in and then do a little simplification. So we're going to have the m is equal to, instead of x1, I'm going to have -4 plus my x2 is 3 and divided by 2. Then comma, instead of y1, I'm going to have -2, just plugging in here, plus my y2, which is 4, and then that will also get divided by 2. And then we'll see here that our midpoint's going to be equal to, let's see, -4 and 3 give me a -1 divided by 2. -2 and 4 give me a +2 divided by 2. And this can simplify into -1/2, comma 1, because we know 2 divided by 2 is 1. So this is going to be our point here. Now let's go ahead and draw it on a graph and see if it looks like it's actually at the midpoint. Realizing that my graph is imperfect because I drew it by hand. Okay, but if we go -1/2 will be about here, and then if we go up 1, about there. And that is going to be our midpoint M. It looks correct to me. Okay, I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, go ahead and send me an email or message me, and I'll be happy to respond. Thanks.